How you doing, folks? Scott here with Dorsten Custom Firearms. Coming back to you today. It's really exciting. We are moving forward with the Master Series Scout Rifle. We have all the parts in, and today we're going to do an unboxing video. We're going to show you all of the components that we have, and then the next videos will be, doing the build. So this is really awesome. We're going to start, let's start with the stock, okay? Alright, we have a Macmillan stock. This is the Macmillan Hunter's Edge. It's pretty much their lightest stock that they have. Alright, here we go. The Hunter's Edge, it's their lightweight feel, and it's actually really rigid for as light as these stocks are. They advertised them coming in between, I think it was between 21 and 24 ounces, depending on the inlet. Now this one is for it uses the Remington Model 7 footprint, and it's got a #1 barrel contour, so it's going to have a little bit more. It's probably going to be closer to the 24 ounces. But we're going to take some out of it. We're going to do some machining on it and take a little bit more of that weight out. It's got a 12.5-inch length of pull. Right now it's got the standard swivel studs. Yeah, and it looks good. It really does. It is unfinished currently. I'm going to be putting a finish on it myself, so I didn't need them to paint it. Plus, with the machine work that I'm going to do on it, it didn't make any sense to have them and do a finish on it. So that way, once I do any other inletting I need to do, a little bit of material removal, I can do the full finish on it, and it's going to look fantastic. So, all right, that's the stock. Okay, the barrel. Now remember, we're building this gun. The goal is to have it come in at 6.6 pounds. All up. All up meaning that's with a scope, that's with a sling, and that's with a magazine. Unloaded, no ammo, but with all accessories attached. So with that, we are kind of, looking for the lightest components that we can get. So with the barrel, from what I've been able to research, the company that's got pretty much the lightest #1 barrel contour is Schillen Barrels. So that's what we have. I do have 2 of them. Okay, here's one. You can see how light that contour is. Okay. The barrel is 22 inches from the factory. It's going to be cut down to 19 inches. We're going to lose about 1/2 inch off the backside here because we don't need such a long shank. So we're going to take about 1/2 inch off there, and then we'll take the rest off of the front of the barrel. At 19 inches, it's still plenty rigid, and it's going to be perfectly accurate for a scout rifle. Remember, a scout rifle, a 2 MOA scout rifle is perfectly acceptable. Now, that being said, this is not going to be a 2 MOA gun. It's going to be able to do much better than 2 MOA just because the components that we're using, the quality of them, the accuracy of the machining that I do on them. So, yeah, it will be a sub 1 MOA. Without question. So, yeah, that's the barrel. Now, from the barrel, let's look at, okay, now, many of you have seen my scope mount, okay? Here they are. I am in production on them. Right now, I have contours 1 and 2 in stock, ready to ship. I have them in steel and aluminum. Now, contour #1 can pretty much be remachined, and when I say remachined is, the reason I chose these contours is because it can be fitted to pretty much any other barrel contour out there. And so what it is the backside is pretty universal, okay? So the backside is going to fit pretty much any barrel at the action back here, okay? And the front, okay, this is the bottom side, is set up to where you can set it up in a mill and machine out material here to adapt it to just about any other barrel contour. So That's pretty. It works pretty well. I've done it many a times already. I've put these on Howas, of course. You've seen my Scout Rifle 1 and 2, and that was one of these. And these are already set up for shill and barrel contours. So I put them on the Howas. I've put them on our Ruger. They actually adapted very good for the older Ruger 77. Their light compact model. Basically the same point. If you remember the Ruger Frontier, a customer sent me in an action that is basically the same thing, the Frontier, but it didn't have the Frontier scope mount on it. It was just a light contoured barrel, but the same barrel contour as the Frontier. And these actually went on there fantastic. It was very easy to adapt, and it looked great. Now that being said, very soon I will be offering gun specific ones. We are starting with the Remington 700s. That also works for the Remington Model 7. They have their lightest barrel contour. They're both the same for the 700s and for the 7. If it's the number 1 is where we're starting it at. Now, if you order it for the number 1, it can be, of course, again, machine the bottom of it, remove a little bit of material, and it'll work for the Remington number 2 barrel contours. So it's very, very handy. Now it does take gunsmith installation, but do that. Have a gunsmith do it. Make sure they'll do it right. Okay. So yes, Remington 700s, the Tikas, they're light models. The light and the light compact, they both use the same barrel contour. One's just longer than the other. So we will have one for the Tikas. And then we're also going to be offering them for the Howa number 1 barrel contours and for the Howa number 2 barrel contours. Those are the ones that I have immediately that will be going into production, and we'll be able to offer those. We'll also be looking to add the Winchester Featherweight Model 70s. We will be looking to add Savage. I'm not sure exactly which barrel contour. The other problem with Savage is their barrel nut. So that one's going to take a little bit more work. It might need a little bit of a redesign with the scope mount. But I'll work on it. The Ruger Americans is another one. They have a barrel nut, so that's another one that is going to take a little bit more tweaking. Once I have one for the Savage, it should adapt to the Ruger American very easily. So those are the most popular ones we're doing right now. Possibly we'll do one for the Kimbers 82s. I have one customer that already wants one on his Kimber. He might just order the scope mount, but I'm actually trying to talk him into sending me the rifle, let me mount it up. That way I can get the measurements off it, and then I can offer a direct one to it. Now, these all match the contours. They will not match any particular holes that happen to be already drilled into the barrel. It's too much variation on that. It's too much of a hassle. So they will need to be drilled and tapped, again, by somebody who knows what they're doing. Take it to a gunsmith. They know how to calculate safe depth for the holes and mount those properly, okay? So, but, like I said, these ones are already set up for the shilling contours, and you can see, look at that, it is just a perfect melding of the contour to it. Come on, look at that. It looks fantastic. Once that's all, in place, drilled and tapped, Cerakoted up, it's going to be great. It's going to look so elegant, so fantastic, and it's going to fit so well. And then, like I said, the gun specific ones will all do the same thing. Okay. All right. For the front sight, we are using New England Custom Guns banded front sight, their Masterpiece series. And forgive the additional noise. My heater just kicked on. It's winter time. It's cold in Wyoming. But yeah, here's what those look like. That's just a little parts kit. But they are very nice, and you can see that it really kind of matches the elegance of my front sight, my scope mount. Okay. But it's very nice, and the banded front sights are super rugged, and that is about where it will be on the barrel right there. So it'll get tapped back a little bit more. It'll be a press fit, and we're gonna, like I said, we'll lose a few inches off it here anyway. So, but that is about what those look like, and that it isn't that nice. That's gonna look so well. That's gonna go so well with my scope mount. You know, it's gonna look good together. So, yeah. All right. So that's the front sight, and that's the scope mount. Now with the front sight, we're also going to have a hood, and we're using the Patridge style insert. I'm not going to pull that out, but it's just a blade. It's got a brass insert, and it's just a blade. Unfortunately, they don't make one that's just solid black steel. Everything of theirs has, you know, the brass insert. So, but if you don't like the brass, hey, you know, put a little black nail polish on it. Take care of it, no problem. Okay. Okay. Scope rings. Okay. Now my scope mounts are set up for the Tully scope rings. Okay. Now the ones I recommend, and I'm just reading the back. These are the 1-inch, because we are going to be using the Leupold FX2 Scout Scope fixed power. Unfortunately, they have discontinued that scope. I honestly, I don't understand why. Because I mean, scout rifles really are building in popularity. They'll never be, you know, they'll always be the redheaded stepchild, you know, of the bolt action hunting gun world. You know, but popularity is growing, and when you understand the concept of the scout rifle and the ideals behind becoming a rifleman, which they're kind of linked hand in hand, the scout rifle and becoming a rifleman, you know, when you start learning about those things, believe me, you fall in love with the scout rifle. Okay, you don't want to use any other rifle in the field. Well, maybe sometimes you do. You know, we're all gun people, so of course we like to use other guns. Okay. Now, these tallies, these are the 1-inch single screw alloy detachable rings. Okay, they say alloy. I believe it's aluminum. I don't know, because they won't tell you what alloy. They just say alloy. Even on their website, it's like, well, just tell me what the metal is, would you? But these are super lightweight. They're single screws. Now we do have the quick detach wings for them. Now, again, we are working on making this as light as possible, so these are probably going to get trimmed down just a little, you know, shaving ounces anywhere I can to get the weight down. Okay, but already these things are super light. Yeah, I would say 25 to 50% lighter than the steels. That much. It is that much. Okay. So that's scope mounts, front sight, and barrel. Okay. Bottom metal. Okay. We are using Badger Ordnance. Was that too fast? Did you not see that? Okay. Not that you need to read it. These are Badger Ordnance bottom metals. They're the M7 style. These are for the Remington Model 7. The actions we are using use the Model 7 footprint. If you're not familiar with the Remington Model 7, the Remington Model 7 is a shorter short action 700. Okay, so you take the short action Remington 700 and it's shorter than that. That, you know, reduces weight extremely. It does also limit, you know, what rounds can go into it. Pretty much the Remington Model 7, the limit is the 308. And, you know, if you're the type of person that likes to play with having the bullets out further than normal factory loadings, the Model 7 is not for you. You want to get the short action 700. You don't want to use the 7. because anything past, with this the original specifications of bullet length, overall length, will not fit in the mag box. It just won't. Okay, so here it is. Okay, it is very nice, very well made. It's light already. It's going to lose a little bit more weight because I'm going to go ahead and skeletonize this area up here. This sits below the stock line, so you're not going to see it anyways. And there's just a lot of material that isn't necessary at all. Yeah, I mean, it's just not. You don't want to go too crazy with it. I don't want to just go down and shave it down, because you do want some support there for the magazine. Okay, if you have it too thin down here, the magazine will wobble side to side, and you don't want that. That's bad. It's going to cause jams and stuff like that. But I can definitely skeletonize it and remove a lot of material and make it lighter. One of the areas that I can definitely remove material from is the trigger bow. Okay, it is super thick. I honestly don't know why they feel they have to do that, other than maybe it's just easier to machine it that way. But it definitely doesn't need to. And on top of that, the corners are a little on the sharp side. I mean, you're not going to get cut on them, but they're definitely not comfortable. So I will probably be making some cuts along the sides of this, removing some material, and thinning that out. And then I'll round over the corners and then re-cerakote everything, and that way it will it'll save weight, and it'll be more comfortable, and it won't be so bulky on the bottom side. So that'll be good. But other than that, they are very nice, very well made bottom metals. Okay, moving on to the main action, the main events. Okay. Or at least components for it. Triggers. Okay. We are using the latest of the Timney triggers, the Elite Hunters. Okay. There they are. Okay. One's right-handed, one's left-handed. Tom Russell is a lefty as far as shooting. He's not left in any other way. Believe me. Way not left. But he is left-handed. So one of these scout rifles is for me. It's going to be right-handed. The other one is for Tom, and it's left-handed. So that is another reason why. That is one of the other reasons we selected the actions that we did, because these are available in right and left-handed. And moving forward, so like my first scout rifles, Scout 1 and Scout 2, those were on the Howas. Those were my budget builds. Unfortunately, they're only available in right-handed. They don't have any availability for left-handed ones. Moving up from those was the Tikka. Those were the first ones that are available in left-handed. The Tikka will be finished soon. I know I haven't revealed that one yet. I only got a couple more things. I got the barrel cut down. I need to put the banded front sight, and I need to put the scope mount on it. In fact, it's right over there. It's in the mill. It's getting ready to have all that final stuff done to it very soon. So that'll be finished soon. So you'll see that before the Master Series is complete. Now I'm not going to take the triggers out of the box because I don't need them yet, and it's better to leave them in the box. That way they're out of the way. I don't lose anything and all that. So, all right, the best part. Okay, the actions. All right, the actions. We are using Defiant Machine, their anti-action, the short one. They have, I believe, 4 different models of the anti-actions. They have their short, which copies the Remington Model 7 footprint. They have an intermediate one, which is the Remington 700 short. They have a long, which is a Remington 700 long, and then they have one I believe is a little bit longer, that is going to be for things like a 338 Lapua or any of those type of rounds that need like extra action. Their anti-actions It's ANTI. The TI part is the same design as the periodic table titanium. Yeah, so it's kind of cool. It's anti-titanium. Get it? A lot of companies were making titanium actions for lighter guns, and Defiance said, "Hey, we can do it with steel, stainless steel, no less." Yeah, and they did. It's awesome. Where do you see this? Okay, we're gonna open it up. All right. So here we have it. We have some foam padding. Thank you very much. We have a sticker, Defiance Machine. Thank you to the folks at Defiance Machine. All right. Some paper. All right, here it is. Okay, what do we got here? We have trigger pins. Okay, I'm sure you guys were worried about that. That's the part you wanted to see, right? Trigger pins. All right, here's the action. Oh, look at that. You know, the finish on these things is fantastic right from the factory. And these are stainless steel. And just absolutely beautiful. You see some of the machining cuts they've done here. Okay, on both sides to reduce weight. They did a cut here to remove material. Okay, and then look at the front. Look at the recoil area. Okay, they hollowed that out, and it's still perfectly strong. It's going to be perfectly fine. That is just beautiful. Okay, here's the bolt. Okay. Here's the bolt. Look at that. It's got deep spiral fluting to it. Okay. The bolt is standard steel. It can be blued. It's not going to be blued. We will eventually send it out for a coating that is much smoother and more rust resistant. And I believe the bolt shroud is aluminum on that. Okay. And look at this. Look at that. Look at how deep the cut is down into there. You know, to remove the material. Look at that. I mean, they really went all out, and this is just, it is just beautiful. The finish on it. I mean, there's the bolt. It's just beautiful. It's really nice. Look at that, and it is smooth. Look at that. Yeah, I mean, it looks fantastic. Defiance Machine. Look at that. And there's the logo that I was telling you about. Anti-action. That's just fantastic. That looks great. Okay, so that's one. Let's take a look at the other one. That's the right-handed one. What do we got here? We got another box. Okay, we got more foam. We got another sticker. And we do have trigger pins too. I'm not going to pull the trigger pins out. You didn't want to see that. Okay, there's the action. And this is how they ship them in these things. Look at that. It's all nicely cut out. That's fantastic. That's beautiful. I don't know what I'll use it for after the build because they'll never fit in there again. Okay, but here it is. Here's the left-handed model. Okay. It's the same action. Now, some of the differences that they did, so the triggers on these things, it uses the same trigger for the Remington 700, not the one for the set Model 7, which is fantastic because that really opens up your options for what trigger to use. Whereas like the Remington Model 7, I'm pretty sure there's only like 2 companies out there that make a trigger for that. Timney's one of them. And I can't remember what the other one is. There's another, I think there's another one out there. I don't recall what it is, but you know, only two companies. Whereas the 700, everybody makes a trigger for the 700. So, you know, having the trigger bead for the 700 is really fantastic. I mean, it really is. And again, here's the bolt. And again, the same deep spiral fluting. Now, I spoke to the people at Defiance Machine. Their short actions The weight comes in at 19 ounces. 19 ounces for that. That's fantastic. That is such a huge weight savings. Okay, and look, I have a Remington Model 7 action here. Okay, this is the Remington Model 7 action. Okay, so you can see, you know, it's the same size. One of the major differences is the recoil lug is integrated into the action on these, whereas the Remington Model 7 you use a separate one. So I mean that, and again, that's going to be part of the weight savings. But yeah, look at that. Okay, now the rear bridge is wider than the Remington Model 7. Okay, you got this little short piece here, and this is a bit longer. For a rear sight, I'm going to have to make and or have one made specifically for these, because of course, you know, nobody's making a rear sight for nobody makes it for the Remington Model 7 right now, and certainly nobody makes one for the Defiance anti-action. So I'm working on a couple angles on that. There'll be more to come on that one as soon as I hear from people. But yeah, there's that. Okay, so there's one more small little detail that we're going to share with you. So one of the things my rifle is going to have that nobody else out there is doing, not in the aftermarket realm anyways, it's going to have all right, so that'll be quite nice. All right, so we're really excited about this build. It's going to start coming together over the next month. I really got to get these pushed out kind of on the quick side because we want to get them through their paces and get them testing for a fantastic event. If you want to see these guns in person, if you want to shoot these guns, contact Tom Russell, American Firearms Academy. He is putting on the Jeff Cooper 5.5-day rifle class, okay? On May 10th, which is Jeff Cooper's 101st birthday, if he was still with us, God bless him, at the NRA Whittington Center on the Jeff Cooper range. How cool is that? So you're going to learn the Jeff Cooper 5.5-day rifle class from one of Jeff Cooper's certified master instructors on Jeff Cooper's 101st birthday on the Jeff Cooper range. That's awesome. Now this is the same range where they introduced the Steyr Scout Rifle. How great is that? Okay, so these rifles are going to be there. If you want to come out and shoot them, sign up for the class, come out and shoot them. I'm also going to have Scout Rifles 1, 2, and 3 Jaeger Scout, you know, the Tikka there. So, and if you don't have a Scout Rifle and you want to come take this class, contact me. I'll loan you one of the Scout Rifles. It won't be the Master Series. Sorry, that one's kind of spoken for. But Scout 1, 2, and Jaeger Scout are available. If you'd like to come out and take the class, I'm more than happy to loan you a rifle to take the class with. You will have to provide your ammo. And hey, maybe it'll help you decide what Scout Rifle you want to shoot. I'm sure there's going to be some Steyrs there. There's probably going to be a few Rugers, and who knows what else. You know, people are adapting all kinds of guns to Scout Rifles these days. Some more successfully than others. But hey, it's your gun. You set it up the way you want. So, check out the class. There's going to be a link in the description below for the class. Check it out. Check out Tom's training, especially if you are in the Texas area. Okay? Tom does pistol training. He does AR training. He does all types of training. He's a fantastic instructor. He was one of only 7 people that were certified by Jeff Cooper as a master instructor. And that's some serious credentials right there. That is some cool stuff. All right, folks, that's all I've got for you today. Next videos will be build videos, and also I'll be having a reveal video for the Jaeger Scout, the Tikka. Okay? This has been Scott, Van Dorsten Custom Firearms, coming from you in Sheridan, Wyoming, your friendly neighborhood gunsmith. I'll catch you next time.